Karoku Okut, Minister for General Duties in the Office of the Prime Minister and head of the COVID-19 Response Fund. Your Excellencies, Frank Magamba Gege, where is, my old brother, High Commissioner of the Republic of Rwanda to Uganda and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. Thank you very much for being there. Your Excellencies, where is the Ambassador of the EU, my dear friend Attilio. The German ambassador was also between us 10 minutes ago, but he has an emergency and leave us. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, mes chers compatriotes, allow me first of all to welcome you to the French residence. I'm particularly glad to welcome you here, Mairie-Écoute, in France, because I remember very well that one year ago, when I arrived in Uganda, it was on the 14th July last year, and officiated with you my first public event the next day before hundreds of guests at this residence. I was so overwhelmed by the welcome and the warmness of the people of this beautiful country that I was so looking forward to welcome again in big numbers than last year. But today we have a very unprecedented situation. As you know, Honorable Minister Marie-Écoute, a National Day is a time for a nation to commune together, to celebrate. France, this year, has chosen this moment to pay tribute and honor the healthcare workers who are at the front line in the fight against the pandemic COVID-19. We wish to salute their precious contribution. This celebration of our National Day is the symbol of the France resilience. As our president said yesterday, France is a committed and united nation. And we want to share this characteristic of our country with all of our guests present today. We also wish to recognize the contribution to all people involved in the collective response to the virus. This evil has disregarded all established rules. It has attacked our way of being. It has shaken our economies. It has tested our convictions. Can we respond to this unexpected aggression in an isolated manner? The response, you know it, is no. Certainly, the scale of the pandemic calls for joint efforts in order to register sustainable gains, and for that, international cooperation is key. We shall overcome by the action of each and every one of us and our ability to cooperate together and the solidarity that we will show towards each other. This is the time to embrace a new multilateralism. This is really the time to embrace the new multilateralism. True to its value of fraternity, France has acted in solidarity with its European and international partners affected by this health crisis. The French President, Emmanuel Macron, was among the very first leaders to stand up for Africa when, in April, Emmanuel Macron proposed to the G20 a comprehensive relief package for the continent, the African continent, with some recommendations that included building the African capacity to respond to the health emergency. It is first to the Africans to take action, because the Africans, they don't need babysitters. They are very well skilled. It is to us first to take action. So, Emmanuel Macron proposed first a comprehensive relief package for the continent with, first of all, building the African capacity to respond to health emergency. Secondly, deploying a wide range of financial support measures. In addition, including an immediate moratorium on services external debts. And that issue is very, very important. We cannot at the same time ask young countries who is in the developing country to do a very strong effort and at the same time ask them to pay the debt. The French president also proposed an humanitarian action for populations most affected by COVID-19 and hunger. And the last, but not the least, also by promoting a Pan-African response mechanism for scientific and political coordination to maximize the African competencies. I'm very happy to see that Dr. Misaki from Makerere University is between our guests. This university is doing a very good job. I'll let him talk about later. Clearly, Uganda has been quite exemplary in its response to the threat posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. I wish to salute the leadership of His Excellency President Museveni for the quick, targeted, and efficient response. The Ugandan people have also demonstrated very soon, at the beginning of the pandemic, that they have maturity, they are resilient to face this crisis. Under the guidance of the Minister in charge of Health, Honorable Dr. Jane Ruth Achang, the health workers, the scientists, hospital staff are doing a very tremendous job with utmost professionalism and commitment. In recognition and support of the role of the Ugandan soldiers in this fight, France has recently donated over 50,000 liters of alcohol-based, locally produced hand sanitizer. That is very important to know. Due to the French embassy, many French discovered that in this country, since 2019, the production of sanitizer, hand sanitizer, is a reality. I'm not sure that there are so many countries in the world that could do that. French and Ugandan scientists are working together on producing rapid, affordable COVID-19 serology test kits. It's the work Dr. Misaki is doing with his team at Makerere University. Also, in response to a request from Uganda, the French government, through the French Development Agency, like to salute my friend and young brother. Thank you for coming back your holidays to celebrate together the National Day. So, in response to a request from Uganda, EFD is in the process of releasing $60 million direct budget support to provide solutions to the economic, social consequences of the pandemic. Dear guests, in a brutal way, we have realized that our economic systems could not only depend on the unchecked world trade system. We are stronger, we are more resilient when we can first and foremost count on our own forces first, our intrinsic resources. Time has come to think differently. Uganda has understood that this by concentrating its efforts on its main richness, agricultural products, by strengthening its agro-based industry. This pandemic is also a strong warning to a world consumed by the desire for profit, a planet whose obsession for development has no regard for principle. One of the Ugandan activists, she's very young, but she's very well known in France. I don't know, you can, and we also have to take into account the necessity to respect more and more the environment. Respecting the environment and biodiversity, this is one of the issues the EU in this country have been working on. So it's not only France. Beyond France, the EU, we European, protecting the environment and biodiversity is a key issue that we can no longer be an option. It is not an option. We have one planet. Not, we don't have plan B. We have one planet. We have the obligation to think of an ecological reconstruction that reconciles production and climate change issues. France has understood that it is not possible anymore to compromise on this virtuous model of development. France is happy to know that Uganda shares this same notion of necessary balance. Our two countries enjoy strong and respectful relationship. In one of his first speech he delivered less than 6 months after coming to power, Emmanuel Macron in Ouagadougou said that it's now time to build with the African continent a new relationship based on respect, reciprocity, and equality. It's what we are trying to do here. Let me take some examples to illustrate this. by welcoming French companies like Total, Pierre. I think that everybody knows Pierre, Joshua Pierre. Thank you. In the oil sector, Thales in air transport technologies, Sogea Satom in water and sanitation, Lafarge in infrastructure development, and Newrest, what is the boss of Newrest? Here. Newrest is in the flight catering sector, and so forth, because there are other companies, those that I do not talk about, sorry. So that means that our cooperation, our partnership is good. We need to reinforce it. But we French, we appreciate very much to see that Uganda has put its confidence in France and its technical know-how. We will not spare any efforts to develop further our cooperation programs in the areas of education, culture, sport, tourism, and defense, of course. We have the necessary aptitudes to, I'm talking to the Ugandans. Where is Lily? Lily is there. You have the necessary aptitude to penetrate the neighboring Francophone market. Somehow, DRC, Rwanda, Burundi was probably one of your first richness. Let me make a small parallel. My parents come from Benin. Benin is a very small country, but one of our neighbors is Nigeria. So the Beninese, they used to say that the first richness of Benin is Nigeria. And that is true. For economy, you can be an independent country, but you need to develop your economy. So, once again, you have the necessary aptitudes to penetrate the neighboring Francophone markets. You have expressed the need, and for that you have to express the need to perfect your proficiency in French in order to achieve this endeavor. We will naturally accompany you on this process, this journey. Alliance Française de Kampala, where is, she left? She's there. Alliance Française de Kampala, not only for the private sector, not only toward the families, but also the institution is reorganizing everything to be able to accompany you. The last time I met your president, we talked about how to accompany the State House staff to learn French. And the president was very committed. We're still doing the job in the different ministries. We'll continue. We'll do the same in the private sector. Let's not forget Bonjour Kampala, because the embassy, Alliance Française to learn French, Bonjour Kampala, the French school, all of them are opened to you in this perspective. Your artists are very talented. You know, I know the African continent a little bit. Before coming here, I traveled all over the continent. I could see the talent of the artists, the youth, and so on. The Ugandan artists are very talented. And are already, some of them are very well known in the region, and between them, beyond. The recent Fête de la Musique concert, the Fête de la Musique is the World Day of Music, and we French, we are very proud because it is a French creation in 1982 by a former French minister in charge of culture, Jacques Lang, and now that's become a world event. So we organize, I use the same word like Alfred. We organize a scientific fête de la musique concert. A scientific fête de la musique concert that drew over 10,000 viewers online in testament to the talent of the Ugandans. It was a very great moment. So the embassy is still committed to continue supporting art, culture, to help artists expand their stage and audience. Let's not forget sport. My friend William Leek is there. William is, as you know, the president of the Ugandan Olympic Committee. A sport should no longer be a reserve of the elite. Sport is not only run after the ball, quick in the ball. Sport is a very strong way to promote a country. Sport is also an economic tool. It should be accessible to all. And France, which is be a host country for the 2024 Olympic Games, is ready to listen to and support your sport and development project. The French president, in his Ouagadougou speech, said that the Africans, sportive, all of them will be welcome to France to train with the same means, the same tools, the same equipment as the French. So it is to you to work on it with William. I know that he's working very hard on it to be between the first. France will receive. Uganda is truly the pearl of Africa. I can say that in the past, I think that it was Benin. But now, definitely, no. Uganda is truly the pearl of Africa, which deserve to be known and visited by the French. Madam, we'll continue working together on it. Your country is probably one of most beautiful in the world, not only in Africa, but in the world. Finally, because I also need to talk a little bit about the defense cooperation, your mountains, what is the colonel is there? Your mountains troops have chosen the French expertise. And we, France, we are so happy that. Our armed forces will be your faithful comrades in arms. Since more than 3 years now, we are working together. We can see that the Ugandans are very committed. They want to learn. They want to improve their skill. And that is good. We are not doing that to skill the Ugandan to fire, to attack the neighbors. Not at all. France policy in Africa linked to defense, security issue is to develop security cooperation, to be part of building a strong security and stability. Without security and stability, you can get all the richness of the world. Nothing will happen. Let's not forget the military are between the first who start learning French. Because to work together, we need to somehow to speak the same language. Honorable Minister Mario Cote, dear sister, allow me now to say a word in French to my compatriots. Can I do it? Okay. Do it. Alors, mes chers compatriotes, il y en a quelques-uns. Cette année, on n'a pas pu inviter toute la communauté française pour les raisons que vous savez. En quelques mots, dans notre pays, la France, c'est cette même exigence de solidarité, d'écoute, d'attention, donc portée aux plus faibles, qui a guidé les choix du précédent gouvernement dirigé par Édouard Philippe et du nouveau, dirigé par Jean Castex. Tout ceci dans le cadre du nouveau chemin. Ceux qui n'en connaissent pas les détails, vous aurez l'occasion de les connaître en fin de journée, puisque le président de la République est actuellement en train de répondre aux journalistes sur ce qu'il entendait par le nouveau chemin. Donc, deux gouvernements successifs qui vraiment, dans une exigence de solidarité d'écoute, mais fidèles au cadre tracé par le président de la République, se sont engagés dans une œuvre de reconstruction de notre pays. Évidemment, il ne faut pas comparer la période d'après-guerre en 1944 avec ce qui est en train de se passer. C'est deux périodes différentes, mais le choc, pour faire une comparaison plus récente, ce qu'on a connu en 2008, donc avec la crise financière, ça n'a rien à voir. Ce qu'on vit actuellement, c'est du jamais vu. Et ça doit être une occasion d'être créatif, d'être solidaire, d'être fraternel. Donc, en soutenant nos entreprises et nos emplois. Et c'est dans ce cadre qu'a été engagée une relance économique, mais sans précédent. Nous ne sommes pas les seuls. Dans d'autres pays européens également, je prends l'exemple de l'Allemagne, c'est pareil. En Italie aussi, c'est pareil. Donc, une reprise, une relance, mais vraiment vigoureuse, marquée notamment par, premièrement, un soutien massif à l'ensemble de notre appareil productif. Nous sommes un pays qui doit réapprendre à produire ce qu'il sait faire et qui sait faire de mieux ou qui sait faire parmi les meilleurs au monde. Deuxièmement, la priorité donnée à l'emploi, à la formation et à la jeunesse. Parce que la crise, elle est là. L'État a mis beaucoup d'argent. 700 000 jeunes vont arriver sur le marché du travail, donc au mois de septembre. Des millions de gens vont perdre leur emploi. Donc, il faut être créatif, imaginatif, mais avoir des priorités. Et ces priorités, je les rappelle, l'emploi, la formation, axée sur la jeunesse. Également, une reconstruction écologiquement compatible. Je disais tout à l'heure, dans mon propos, que tenir compte du changement climatique, the climate change is not a dream, it is unfortunately a reality. C'est une réalité. Donc, il faut que toute reconstruction soit écologiquement compatible et réconcilie la production, dont on a besoin pour produire des richesses, créer des emplois, avec les exigences de changement climatique. Et parce que nous sommes la France, nous nous connaissons. Pour réussir cela, il faut vraiment discuter avec toute la nation. Donc on a des députés qui nous représentent, qui doivent être également force de proposition. C'est ce que le nouveau Premier ministre, Jean Castex, fait d'ailleurs. D'ailleurs, c'est ce qu'il a dit. C'est-à-dire, pour bâtir un nouveau pacte social, cette ambition du président de la République, portée par le gouvernement Castex, doit aussi mobiliser non seulement les partenaires sociaux, les représentants de la nation, mais les territoires. La réalité, c'est dans les territoires. Notre pays est un peu centralisé, avec des corps dominants que je ne citerai pas, voilà, qu'on a longtemps pensé détenir à eux tout seuls. La vérité, ce n'est pas vrai. Donc, modestement, il faut que ces corps contribuent, mais il faut aussi que les autres acteurs, les territoires et et les députés et les partenaires sociaux, les syndicats, les représentants du patronat et des travailleurs aussi, soient des acteurs. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, our world is still recovering from this pernicious virus. France and Uganda have made enormous sacrifices to protect and limit the spread of this disease. The long lockdown was a difficult but necessary choice sometimes. Our two countries have had a convergence of views. We have preferred humanity over economic considerations. Maybe it's one of the first time in the human being history that developed country make the choice of humanity compared to economy. We share this conviction that life is more valuable than anything else. This community of like-mindedness, of good spirit, is a great message of hope for the future. Our two countries, our peoples, have understood the usefulness of rational development. We will be able to pass on a quality heritage to our future generations. On this 14th July 2020, France expressed all its esteem to the medical workers of Uganda. France expressed all its esteem to the medical workers of Uganda, to all those who have exhibited self-sacrifices, dedication to assist, secure and feed one another. This 14 July 2020, France pays tribute to those who have, like the French President Emmanuel Macron said yesterday, put all their strength, all their skills, all their humanity against the virus. Long life to Uganda, long life to France. Vive l'Ouganda, vive la France, and happy Bastille Day to all. I now propose a toast to the good relation between Uganda and France. Vive l'Ouganda, vive la France. Now, I invite the Honorable Minister to deliver her remarks. Thank you.
Merci. Your Excellency, Ambassador, all Excellencies and dignitaries present, good afternoon. I bring very warm wishes from His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I bring warm wishes from the government and people of Uganda, whom I'm representing here, to congratulate the French people on this very, very important French Liberation Day. It is an honor and pleasure to be invited to preside over this important celebration, and I'm really, really indebted to you. Yes, when I came, I remembered when I was here 1 year ago. Indeed, as Your Excellency, as you have said, this compound was full to the brim. And now we are under these very, very difficult circumstances. But this COVID pandemic is a wake-up call to all humanity. Because when it came unexpectedly, everything came to a standstill. The whole planet has been brought to its knees. The airports went still. The schools went still. The other institutions went still. And we could hear only one voice, the voice of humanity. So it is a wake-up call. Because this COVID monster, as I call it has no race, it has no color, it speaks the same language, and it is here to remind us that we are all human beings. And we must rethink the way we are doing things. So it may not have been brought by God, because God brings good things, but wherever it came from, it is saying, like our people say, open your eyes and know that without me, you are nothing but clay. Because as we believe, we are molded from clay. So the Liberation Day reminds us of the important values that the French Revolution stands for. This is why when we are here in this scientific celebration, again, we remember the sacrifices that were made so that the French people could become free. Uganda enjoys very cordial relations with France, and we want to thank you heartily, because during this pandemic, you have come out, the French people have come out to give us support, and they have stood in solidarity with Ugandans. There are so many things that the French government has been involved in. Apart from the sanitizers which were given to the frontline workers in the Uganda People's Defense Forces, there is research that has been going on which has been supported by the French so that we can get a cure or a vaccine for this COVID monster. We want to thank you so, so much, because without health, we are nothing. As we stand here, I want to salute the exemplary leadership of our President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, during this very, very difficult time. But we know that this is not the first time that this exemplary leadership is coming out. When the AIDS virus struck Uganda in the nether years, he sounded the war drums, and in that way, he halted the AIDS genocide that was going to demarcate and make our people perish. So this is not the first time. His guidance and his leadership has been recognized worldwide. I remember reading in the Guardian Post of London in April, where they were appreciating his leadership. And on May 17th, the Washington Post also appreciated his leadership during this very, very difficult time. But we also thank the people of Uganda. They were complacent. They were not complacent, actually, they were compliant. It is now that we are beginning to become complacent, and we are still sounding the warning. Please, the virus is still here. The health workers are saying that now we are in the third stage and that the virus is in the community. So we should not let our guard down. But we want to thank everybody who has joined hands to make sure that in this country, we have not lost anybody. It is by the grace of God, and it is by his favor, but of course also the leadership has played a part. So we still want to make the clarion call that please, nobody should let their guard down, because this monster is still around. And therefore, we congratulate you once more. and we wish to join the French people in the celebration of their hard-earned peace and unification. We share a lot because we know that this government came through a struggle. This struggle gave birth to the peace and security that we now enjoy as a country, and we must guard it jealously. So I want also to use this opportunity to inform French business leaders and companies to continue taking advantage of the existing investment opportunities available in Uganda. Because even while we are struggling with this pandemic, life goes on. We have to talk business. We have to talk about protecting the environment. We have to talk about other issues that help us to go through. So far, there are about 35 French companies established in this country in various sectors, including that of oil and gas, infrastructure development, travel and insurance, with a combined investment value of more than $1 billion. In total, these companies employ about 18,000 people. We do not take that for granted because we know that unemployment is one of the challenges we face in this country. We know that unemployment is a global challenge, but our people say that you see the pit which is in front of your house. So we are seeing our own pit. We know that the agents, I'm sorry if I mispronounce some of the French words. I did elementary French at university, and I stumble. So we know that the Agence Française du Développement, AFD, which is present in Uganda, has committed almost 240 million to the country over the past 3 years, notably in the water, sanitation, and energy sectors. Thank you so much. And on behalf of the government of Uganda, I thank you for your unwavering support to our country. We applaud the AFD widening the scope of its interventions to include support to achieving sustainable cities by supporting Kampala's low-carbon strategy. Your Excellency and dignitaries, I don't know whether you noticed, those of you who have been here for some time, that when this COVID pandemic struck here in Kampala, we have been having a lot of carbon emissions. But for the first time in so many years, when I looked at the sky, it was blue. Now, it's going back to its old self, but we should take care. So this is a commendable step in the right direction, and we'll go along with realizing Kampala's smart cities agenda. Furthermore, a potential investor considering investing in Uganda will find a well-regulated and highly liberalized economy in which all sectors are open for investment, and there's a free movement of capital to and from the country. And we know that investment opportunities exist in commercial farming and value addition, as well as in the manufacturing of inputs, that is fertilizers and pesticides, to mention but a few. And of course, Uganda's ICT sector is one of the most vibrant within the region and the fastest growing sectors in the economy. Your Excellency, once I told you that I am an educationist, and there is a lot of rich folklore here. I have been interested in the field of animation, and I'm still interested in doing a little bit of it. And I'm requesting you, as a literary person now, please, let's go into this field and let's translate some of our rich folklore into the French language so that our young people can learn French. People love the French language, but it has to be started at the formative age. That is a request. Additionally, as a country, we want to encourage French tourists to visit Uganda, which, as you know and you have said, is a very, very beautiful country. And for us who have done a bit of history, we actually know that Uganda is the cradle of humankind. All these races, wherever you were, they were all born here. This is the cradle of humankind. And so we invite everybody to come and visit this place. Recently, I was watching CNN, and Uganda was ranked as the 5th best tourism destination in the world. And this appreciation demonstrates our concerted efforts in supporting and reviving the sector. Your Excellency and dignitaries and ladies and gentlemen, France is one of the largest tourism markets in the world, with an estimated 1.6 million French visiting African countries annually. However, only 15,000 of these come to Uganda, regrettably, compared to the 60,000 arrivals from the United Kingdom. So, Your Excellency and dignitaries, we need to do more in increasing the visibility of Uganda among the French tourists in order to arouse their willingness to visit. And Your Excellency, we know that the French people love beauty. They love to come and visit beautiful countries. Please, we open our hands and welcome them to this country. Finally, I thank you, Your Excellency, and the French people for standing with Uganda. I've already said it. During this very, very difficult time, your solidarity, your support in so many sectors, and the cooperation that we have had together is anachronistic. It is painted in blue colors, and it will pass the test of time. It is not forgettable. No, we cannot forget it. Our people say that the person who looks after you when you are not well will never leave your memory. I wish I could say it in vernacular, but we have so many vernaculars here, I wouldn't know which one to pick. Thank you so, so much for this solidarity, for this support during this very, very difficult time, which is global. But here, as I say, sometimes you see the pit which is in front of your house. Your solidarity and support is appreciated. And globally, we shall come out stronger and more united because we know that the same breath comes from all of us and the same blood flows within our veins. Your Excellency and dignitaries, I now propose a toast to the good health of His Excellency President Macron, to the people of France, and to the cordial relations between our two countries. That one is very, very important. May it continue forever. And we know that it will continue. And to you, Your Excellency. And I say this for God and my country. Thank you so much.